Good afternoon. Today I will be presenting my doctoral research on investigating preferred design elements by autistic individuals in immersive learning environments. My work focuses on creating more inclusive and effective educational technologies through direct inputs from autistic individuals. Autism affects approximately 1 in 36 children worldwide and presents challenges in social interactions, communications, and particularly sensory sensitivities. Despite the growth in immersive learning environments, there remains a significant research gap, which is limited direct input from autistic individuals in the design process. My research aims to address this gap by systematically investigating design preferences and their impact on learning outcomes. My research is guided by three key questions. First, what are the critical factors to consider when designing immersive learning environments for autistic individuals? Second, how can we effectively involve autistic individuals in the design process? And third, how do different design elements influence learning performance? These questions are explored through a structured three-phase research approach. Right now, we are working on phase 1, which is preference investigation. I'm collecting the preference data using multiple methods such as quantitative and qualitative surveys, interviews, workshops, and VR application testing. The goal is to understand which design elements are preferred by autistic individuals and which method is most comfortable for them to provide their feedback. The design elements I'm investigating fall into two main categories: environmental and instructional. Environmental elements include visual components such as 3D models, background colors, and animation. Auditory elements include background audio, interaction audio, and feedback audio. Instructional elements cover video-based components such as appearance of avatar, familiarity with the avatar. Audio-based elements include voice types such as human voice, robotic voice, and text-based elements include font type and text color. These elements were selected based on prior research and feedback from autism experts. From phase 1, I have already conducted a user study using quantitative survey. 23 participants took part in the user study. Out of 23, 16 were autistic individuals and 7 were autism experts. I have added a brief summary of the results here. The results suggest participants showed a strong preference for realistic 3D model style over abstract ones or cartoons. In terms of background colors, white and gray background colors were rated significantly higher than other colors. Red was the least preferred background color. For animation, 78% participants preferred animated objects with normal speed over static ones, but animation should be contextually relevant. When it comes to text, white text on black background was the favorite. Users preferred unsaturated text colors over their saturated counterparts. In font types, simple fonts like Vedana had the highest score. In avatar design, human voice was rated higher than robotic ones. And in terms of familiarity with the avatar, familiar and stranger avatars were rated similarly and higher than self avatars. In terms of ethnicity, white and Hispanic avatars scored better than others. And in terms of gender, female avatars were slightly preferred than their male counterparts. And in terms of style, cartoon avatars were preferred slightly more than the realistic avatars. To enable this research, I have three technical components to develop: a VR application using a standalone headset for safety and intuitive interactions, which includes a rating system for capturing design preferences. To develop it, a 3D modeling application Blender and a game engine Unity 3D are used. I'm also working on creation of an immersive sensory room that serves as a self-regulation space during testing sessions, with adjustable visual, auditory, and tactile elements to ensure participants' comfort. I have planned to create multiple ILEs to implement the learning scenarios, but that is for phase 2 and phase 3. Here you can see the VR application interface in the left, where participants can interact with and rate different design elements. The right image shows the immersive sensory room, which include features like a music corner and a painting area to support their motor skills. Um, to support participants who might need to self-regulate during study sessions. Phase 2 examines the impact of individual element categories such as visual or auditory elements on learning and sensory and cognitive load through control studies. And Phase 3, I'll conduct a holistic comparison between environments with the most and least preferred design elements to validate the findings. The expected contribution of my research include both scientific and practical outcomes. Scientifically, I will provide evidence-based data on design preferences of autistic individuals and empirical findings on how these elements impact learning outcomes. Practically, my work will result in a design guidelines for developers of educational VR and customization recommendations that can make immersive learning more inclusive and effective for autistic learners. To summarize, I aim to fill a research gap by involving autistic individuals in the designing of ILE. I focus on combining multiple methods to get feedback from autistic individuals and aim to offer practical design guidelines that truly reflect needs of autistic individuals. Thank you for your attention. I'm happy to answer any questions about my research methodology, findings so far, or next steps.